Let me explain something to you. If you really want to understand what's going on, you're going to have to understand what's going on. So the first thing you do is you unplug cable, you forget Fox News and all the others, and you listen to me very, very carefully. Because if you want to know what's going on, I'll tell you. Now I want to clear something up right now. Just because the radical left got pummeled and shellacked at the ballot box doesn't mean they're going away. Doesn't mean they're retreating. They're recalibrating. They've gone underground. They've restructured, diversified their tactics. And believe me when I tell you this, they are just as dangerous, if not more, now than they were when they were openly rioting in the streets, okay? And setting fire to courthouses, which, by the way, is coming back. Now, but President Trump, and by extension, all of us who still care about this republic, what needs to be done, listen to me carefully, what needs to be done is that this fight isn't just about bad policy or corrupt politicians. No, it's deeper. This is systemic. This is fourth and fifth generation warfare, hybridized with globalist control mechanisms, AI-driven influence ops, bots, the whole bit, and soft power networks, all through NGOs, think tanks, not regular tanks, not Bradleys and Shermans, but think tanks, and shadowy philanthropic initiatives. These aren't activists, my friends. These are operatives. Now listen to me carefully. While the media, or whatever's left of the media, while the media clowns wring their hands over misinformation and that usual dreck, the real story is being buried. The return of the deep state with a British accent. That's right, that deep state. That deep state. Not just Langley or Foggy Bottom, but the original geopolitical puppeteers across the pond. Don't sleep on Great Britain, my friends. The City of London is still the command center for global finance and their influence operations. Perfide Albion, soft and sharp power, runs straight through the transatlantic alliance, intel sharing, back channel messaging, embedded media assets, call it what you want, but they're in the mix. And I don't know why they've been forgotten. Perfide Albion. Trump's real adversaries aren't just MSDNC hosts or the DOJ's lawfare goons. They're the unelected power blocks behind NATO and the IMF and Silicon Valleys and their social scoring systems, which, by the way, you're going to see. It's happening. This is post-democracy rule by consensus, and it's run by experts who were never elected, never vetted, and never held accountable. So what are we going to do? First, you've got to recognize what this is. This is war without uniforms. This is warfare without bullets. Fifth generation warfare is about perception, not tanks, influence, not invasion, and it's being waged right now across every digital platform you touch. While Trump is out there embracing the flag and the people pulling the strings are flooding the zone with noise, censorship algorithms, coordinated narratives, everything is happening. Manufactured crises, the Hegelian dialectic in full bloom. Staged opposition, controlled opposition. And if you think it's just the Democrats doing this, you haven't been paying attention. This goes beyond red, white, and blue. This goes beyond red and blue. This is the Uniparty, the Trinos, Trump Republicans in name only. People who show up on Sunday shows pretending to be outraged, while stabbing the base in the back Monday morning. The McConnell class, the Chamber of Commerce types, the Heritage Foundation fence sitters, all of them part of the machine Trump is trying to dismantle. Know who the enemy is. Now, what does that mean for the rest of us? Very simple. Listen very carefully. It means we stay vigilant. We don't get drunk on victories. We don't assume that a single election cycle fixes anything. Remember, it's going to take 3 of these. 2024 midterms and 2028. Trump won. Yeah, that's true. But he's walking into a second term surrounded by saboteurs, bureaucrats who've been in place for 30 years, judges who interpret the Constitution like it's a living document written in disappearing ink, agencies like the FBI, CIA, IRS, NSA, all serving political agendas, not justice. And listen to me. NGOs. Don't get me started on NGOs. These folks who operate like roving mercenaries for the WEF, George Soros and Drag, and every alphabet soup global initiative with a 4-color logo and a climate pledge. These organizations, my friend, they act like they're about civil society and human rights. They're not. They're tools. Cover operations for regime change, cultural destabilization, population control, surveillance expansion. Listen to me. They're the reason cities are burning. They're the reason traditions are collapsing. And they're the reason the kids can't tell what gender they are without an app. The fourth generation was bad enough. Terror cells, ideological subversion, open border chaos. But the fifth generation, that's mind control. That's behavior manipulation. That's normalizing insanity through endless content, false consensus, and fear narratives. And here's the most terrifying part. It's working. It's working. So look at the American psyche right now, if you dare. Look at the American psyche. People are afraid to speak. They're afraid to believe. They've been trained to self-censor, to fact-check themselves before they even open their mouths. They know the script. Comply, nod, smile, pretend. That's not freedom. That's digital feudalism with a Wi-Fi connection. This is why Trump remains such a threat. Not because of what he says, but because of what he represents. Disobedience, dissent. The refusal to participate in the managed decline of our beloved civilization. That's why they tried everything. Russia hoax, impeachments, indictments, surveillance, slander, and they still couldn't take him down. Still couldn't do it. So now the next move is to break his movement. Turn the MAGA base against itself. Flood the zone with provocateurs and honeypots and sock puppet influencers who push division and infighting. You'll start seeing it more now. Trump betrayed us. Trump didn't go far enough. We need something new. Yeah, right. It's textbook destabilization. Don't believe that bullshit. Fragment the opposition. Blur the message. Create a leadership vacuum. It's the same playbook they use overseas. They just imported it home. So what do? Simple. We double down. Organize locally. We build parallel systems. Media, commerce, education. Okay? We stop doing the usual. We stop doing the usual and the ordinary. We stop feeding the beast. We unplug from their platforms, cancel their institutions, rebuild community around shared values, old-fashioned stuff, not corporate slogans. We train ourselves in psychological resistance. We teach our kids that not everything trends is true. In fact, most of it isn't. Not everything that's true will trend. We become uncancelable. This war doesn't end with Trump. And it doesn't end with the Trump re-election. It begins again. Because the left may be monumentally and momentarily quiet, but they're not gone. They've just changed costumes. Climate crisis, pandemic, panic, DEI bureaucracy, that ESG nonsense, AI safety regulation. It's all camouflage for control. Don't fall for it. And don't assume that we're safe just because our guy is back in the White House. That's where the real fight begins. Because when you actually start draining the swamp, you find out just how deep and murky it really is. And we need to be louder and sharper and more brash and more ruthless. Ruthless in our clarity. No apologies, no compromise, no illusion that the battle is over. Because they never stop. They never sleep. And they never admit defeat. But neither do we. So if you're listening to this, if you're watching this, thank you. But remember, you're not crazy. You're not alone. And you're not paranoid. You're awake. You're awake. And that means you're already ahead of the game. Thank you. Thanks for watching, my friends. Thanks for supporting us. Thanks for being a part of this. Make sure you do everything in your power to subscribe. Maintain the subscription. 80-something% of the people who watch our videos don't even subscribe. I don't know what the hell that's about. But hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. And make sure I beg, I beseech, I importune, I entreat you to always, dear friend, comment as you see fit.